Alright, so welcome back to the channel, guys. It is me, 8744, and today we'll do our Match Day 2 predictions of the Champions League. You guys really seem to enjoy the first Match Day predictions, and I thought we had a great time doing it. So we're going to be doing Match Day 2 predictions instead. So remember, guys, to let me know your predictions comments below. Remember, guys, to like and subscribe. I'll leave a link in the description below for the predictor link that we're going to be using the Uefa website. And yeah, so we're going to go ahead and do this. I'll try to keep this around 10 to 10 minutes for you guys. Good, concizable length for you guys. All 18 matchups right here. Let's start with the first game we got here. It is FC Cairo versus Real Madrid. FC Cairo is taking on Real Madrid. This is a game that I could see Real Madrid dropping points in because this is the type of game that gives me that Sheriff vibe. Remember when Sheriff defeated Real Madrid out of nowhere in the Champions League? I could see something like that happening here. And remember, guys, Sheriff made their Champions League debut, FC Cairo as well. And we know Real Madrid aren't typically the best when it comes to the league phase and group stage in general. They are not the most consistent. They usually advance, but they usually don't do very well. They usually like either top the group, just scrape through, or sometimes get second place. And we saw last season they had to go to the playoffs and the upper end. So I think for Real Madrid, I do think they'll win this one, and I think it'll be like a kind of like a smash and grab win. I don't think it'll be a pretty win by any means, but I do think Real Madrid will win this one. I'm going to say Real Madrid wins this one like a 3-1 win. 3-1 win. I will say this though. As much as I'm saying Real Madrid should win this, part of me thinks that Cairo could actually get a result here. Maybe even a draw. But Real Madrid should win. Atalanta versus Club Brugge. Atalanta were horrible against PSG. Absolutely got decimated that game. Club Brugge, on the other hand, though, they just smashed Monaco 3-0. And honestly, I was really impressed with what Club Brugge did. And for this reason, I'm actually going to say this ends in a draw. I just feel like Atalanta, for me, I'm not really convinced with. And I think Club Brugge is looking really good. And I think they could get an away point here. It'll be very valuable for them. Next is Papas versus Bayern. Bayern, of course, got the win against Chelsea in a pretty cruise control win. And Yapafos did manage to get a draw against Olympiacos on the road. So let's see what they could do here. Needless to say, they should lose this game. Bayern should be winning this game. But I kind of want to say for Cairo against Real Madrid, I do think Pafos, especially being at home, I do think they'll cause some issues, everything. But I do think Bayern should win this one. I'm going to say this one ends 2-0, though. Next is Chelsea versus Benfica. This is a really interesting one, guys, because we have the Jose Mourinho realm. Because of course, Jose Mourinho is coming to as back as a Benfica manager, and of course, as you guys know, he used to be the former Chelsea manager. He also coached Benfica before in the past. So this is going to be kind of a very interesting matchup for Jose. How you'll feel about this one? This is a really tough one to call, but I do think Chelsea should win this one. I'm going to say Chelsea wins this one at 2-1 win. 1 win. Let me actually zoom in so you guys can see pictures. There we go. A 2-1 win for Chelsea against Benfica. Next is Inter versus Slavia Prague. Inter should take care of business against Slavia. I would expect them to, and I think it'll be kind of like a cruise control win. I'll say they win 2-0 um against Slavia. Next is Galatasaray versus Liverpool. We saw how bad Galatasaray were against Frankfurt away from home, but Galatasaray are at home. That being said, and I do feel like Galatasaray being at home could be a team could do something. And for Liverpool, as we said, have been very good so far. They have yet to lose a game, and I think this Liverpool team's looking great. So, this is a tough one to call, guys. This is a really tough one to call because I really am not sure for this one because Galatasaray sometimes can be very good, sometimes can be very bad. It's either what you think with Galatasaray. I feel like they're either really good or really bad. There's nothing really in between. So I think if Liverpool do manage to win this one, it'll be a cruise control win. But if Galatasaray win, it'll be kind of like a close win. So I'm going to say a draw. I'm going to say a draw. I think, actually, you know what? I think, yeah, I'm going to say a draw. I think this ends in a 2-2 draw. Um, Actually, no, I'm going to say Liverpool wins this 3. Liverpool wins this 3-2. I just feel like it'll be a high scoring game, and I just feel like Liverpool will just find a way to do what they did. I just feel like you're going to score a last minute winner or something to seal home the 3 points. Galatasaray will lose. It'll be a close one, and I think they'll put a much better showing than they did against Frankfurt. But ultimately, I still have Liverpool to get. Atletico Madrid versus Frankfurt. Atletico Madrid have not been good so far in La Liga this season. Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. Um, they've been, they had a decent game against Liverpool, which they probably should have got a point from, but they conceded. And Frankfurt, as we just saw, obliterate Galatasaray. But then again, Athletic Madrid are at home at the Wanda Metropolitano. This is their fortress, and I do expect Athletic to win this one. And for that reason, I think Athletic will win this one quite comfortably. I'm going to say this one ends a 3-1 win. Marseille versus Ajax, both teams lost the first game. Marseille, you can argue, were more unlucky against Real Madrid since we're kind of hard done by the two penalties, maybe you could say, especially by the second penalty. And for Ajax, they didn't look good against Inter at all. So this is a really tough one to call. I do think Marseille is the better team, and this being at the home match for Marseille, I do expect Marseille to win this one. So I'll say they win this one like a 1-0. I think like a close 1-0 win. Bodo Glimt versus Spurs. Bodo Glimt, as we saw, came from 2-0 down against Sparta Prague and managed to rescue him a point. And yeah, for Spurs, as said, they managed to beat Villarreal in a kind of an unconvincing win, but they got the win regardless. This is a really hard one to call. Bodo Glimt is pretty strong at home, and I'm going to say it ends in a draw. I just feel like it ends in a draw for this one. It just seems to make the most sense. And yeah, I'm going to say it ends in a 2-2 draw. I score in a fair. Next is Kortrijk versus Copenhagen. We're moving to the Wednesday games. I think this will be a tough one to call. I don't know, man. I'm gonna say ends in a. Kortrijk did beat Benfica, though. You know what? I'm gonna say ends in a draw. I'll say ends in a 2-2 draw. Union St. Gallen was a Newcastle. Actually, match we saw how good Newcastle were in the first game against Barcelona. They gave it their all. They just messed up with their chances. Union St. Gallen, though, they did beat PSV on the road. So this is a really difficult one to call. I think I'm going to say ends in a draw. I'm going to say draw. Draw, in my opinion, is fair. Dortmund versus Athletic Club. Dortmund looked pretty good against Kyrat. They obliterated Kyrat. Athletic Club did play against Arsenal, but they only did concede 2 goals from the substitute. So I do think Dortmund will win this one, being at home, being that's a shooting at Duna Park. I think Dortmund will win this one. I'll say they win this one 3-1. 3-1. Barca versus PSG, guys. I was reading news early today that we have several players injured. We got Fermin Lopez injured. I believe we have Joan Garcia injured. I believe we have Rafinha injured. Yeah, it's looking really bad, guys. It's really bad. PSG, on the other hand, I was only looking at them. They only really have a few injuries to deal with. Like, I think Marquinhos is injured. Well, in my opinion, is error prone anyway, so I don't even think that's a big deal. And obviously, Rafinha is injured. So it's a really difficult one. I think this will be a very high scoring game, very end to end game. And I really, really hope Barca wins this one, but I just don't think we're going to win this one because, especially knowing that Rafinha is not going to be there. Yamal might be back for this game, which is a huge positive. But the issue is, Rafinha is just that guy, man. He gives you that GA, and I don't know, man. So I'm going to say it ends in a draw. It pains me to say this, but I think it ends in a draw. I'm going to say it ends a 2-2 draw. But I really hope I'm wrong this one because I really want to beat PSG. Monaco versus Manchester City. This is an interesting one to call, guys. We know how good, we saw how bad Monaco were against Club Brugge. That being said, though, they were on the road, and Manchester City, as we saw, they did beat Napoli in a quite comfortable fashion. You know what, guys? I think we're gonna get upset. There's usually at least one upset in these match days of the European competitions, and I feel like this could be it, man. I feel like this could be it. So yeah, I'm gonna say Monaco beats Manchester City. I'm gonna say it ends in a 3-2 fair. I think it'll be a high scoring game, but I just think Monaco would just edge out, which would be a shock loss. Leverkusen versus PSV. Leverkusen did manage to get the draw against Copenhagen, but they did have to come from 2-0 down, if I'm not mistaken. Get the result there. And yeah, PSV, they didn't look good against Union St. Gallen at home. Oh, this is a hard one to call. I'm going to say ends in a draw. Ends in a draw. I feel like both teams are currently on the same level. They have not been good as we expect them to be. Arsenal versus Olympiacos. Arsenal should beat Olympiacos. I know a few years ago, Olympiacos did eliminate them in the Europa League, but come on, guys. Arsenal has strengthened so much since then, and I feel like Olympiacos kind of fallen off. They haven't really been the same despite them being in the Champions League. So I do think Arsenal will win this one. The question is, how much will they win by? I think they'll win this one like a cruise control 3-0 win. Say. Villarreal versus Juventus is another game that I think could be a sleeper game. A lot of people aren't looking up to. And I think Villarreal could actually do something. I've been really impressed with Villarreal. Juventus, on the other hand, I'm kind of uncertain of. And yeah, I know Villarreal had that bad defeat against Spurs, but it was only 1-0, and it was really only the goalkeeper that messed up. So I think Villarreal can actually get a result here, and I think they'll do it. I think they'll beat Juventus, man. I say they beat Juventus 1-0. Out of the final game we got here is Napoli versus Sporting. This should be a routine Napoli win. But we know with Antonio Conte, he likes to make things a little bit harder for himself. So maybe I could see a draw, but I think Napoli should be winning that. So I'm going to say they win this one 1-0. So there you have it, man. That is match day 2 predictions. Let's go look at the top 8. So if my predictions come to fruition, this will be the top 8. And then if we go to the playoffs, yeah, no Juventus, no Leverkusen. Newcastle is crazy. No. So yeah, that's my predictions, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy this predictions. Remember, guys, to let me know your predictions as well, guys. Remember, guys, to like and subscribe as well on your way out, guys. And I'll see you guys for the next one.